Let me make you a co-host. All right. Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey guys, here we are. I apologize. I didn't know I was going to be on camera.
You're fine.
Well,
I would have dressed
you
a little
want
pretty.
what I would do is I've given everybody the ability before we start the recording, before we get this kicked off, is kind of some housekeeping. Is I would put not only your name, but I would do a hyphen with your website URL. So that way, when this goes out to the thousands of people that it's going to go out to, you're getting some attention and some publicity. So, David, first, I've heard all about you over the years. How are you?
How are you? I'm doing great. Just getting older.
I won't tell you what he told me about you, but that's okay.
That's good. Swore you to secrecy. That's a good thing. Really good, right?
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we're going to get cracking here in just a second, allow some more people to join. And it's all good. So, boom. Okay, we're good. Go there. Go there. All right, let me start the recording. All right. Okay, so we are live at the 10X Business Owners Mastermind Group call. My name is John Pyron, the business doctor. I am your host, and I have along with me my power partner, co-host, friend, don't call him late for dinner, Alan Reeves. So, Alan, say hi.
Good afternoon, all. Thank you, John.
You bet. Okay. So, as always, before we get started, and to reward those people that are here on time, we're going to kind of open it up, and I'd love to go around and have you introduce yourself, explain your, give us about a 30-second commercial of you, your business, who's a perfect client for you. That way, when this goes out to all the various different social networks and the other thousands of people, and also on the podcast channel, people know who you are and you get some attention. So we'll start off with Corey. Corey, please introduce yourself and tell us about your business and who's a great client for you. And you're muted.
How's that?
There you go.
All right.
Yep.
Sorry about that. My name is Corey Lake. I'm the owner and CEO of Lake Group Insurance out of Minnesota. We specialize in property casualty, life and health. Perfect clients for us are anybody from, we do single homeowners and autos all the way up to Fortune 100 companies. So we have a pretty broad breadth of what we do. So pretty much anybody that has insurance needs, we're your guys for that.
Awesome. Awesome. Welcome to the call. Mr. David First.
Yes, sir. How are you? Good to be here. I'm known to probably some of these people. I've been around long enough. I should be known to everybody and hated by a few maybe. I'm a faculty member, retired faculty member from the Owen Graduate School of Management at Vanderbilt for about 35, 40 years, long time. So I probably overstayed my welcome by about 10 years, but anyway. And about 5 or 6 years ago, we started a company with two other members of the faculty turned out to be, but also dear friends. One of them, Michael Burcham, who some of you may have heard of and is a very well-known entrepreneur and kind of I won't say a power broker, but he's certainly a well-connected guy in this city and nationally. And Kimberly Pace, who's a professor of communication, leadership communication at the Owen Graduate School of Management. And so we three put it together. It's a female-owned business because Michael and I decided she should own 51%, or she decided, and we said, what the hell? So, and she actually is the one that carries probably 90-something% up there of the load of the work that we do, because it's what she teaches is communication, leadership communication. So just imagine, it's not just how do you speak, but the one thing it says, how do you get in trouble with that? And how do you not realize when you're doing something wrong? So she's done coaching, we do investor calls, we do all kind of CEO or senior level communication work with clients, had been now for about 5 years, got some established clients that are really great. And they run all the way from mentoring people at the Entrepreneur Center to some major corporations that come back to us over and over because I guess they're either slow learners or they've got something else they want us to work on. So it's been a great business, and it's called Executive Aura. It's an LLC, pass through. Anyway, so if you have trouble with communicating or any issues had to do with senior team kinds of issues, which normally come down to communication issues or strategic issues, we'd love to work with you and or at least have a conversation, and that's us.
Awesome. Welcome to the call. Mr. Dan Rogers.
Good afternoon, John. I am a business finance person. In fact, I was on your couch earlier. I'm a client of yours as well, and therefore I missed Alan's call with me, and darn it. So anyhow, Alan, I got a funny story for you, but I do business finance, specific work with bank pros, commercial real estate pros, anybody who's kind of talking numbers with business owners, and where commercial real estate loans become a challenge for them with their own bank. And our company is a national SBA lender, and we're able to fund the unbankable, the unfundable loans where good business can get that started into commercial real estate investing and ownership. They start that with us with our very, very aggressive underwriting guidelines.
Fantastic. Awesome. Well, welcome, everybody. Loving this weekly call. And one of the things that I want to kind of let everybody know as we get started is what is the purpose of this call. So for, 31 years now, I've been building companies in, let me put this on mute there. There we go. Okay. Been building companies, 4 different IT managed service companies. I've built companies from nothing to millions of dollars. I've built a company that completely failed miserably because I hated sales. And then I went into, consulting and training lots and lots of salespeople, and discovered I got sick and tired of salespeople's excuses for not wanting to achieve their results. And they had everything, including the cat had diarrhea, on why they couldn't achieve their goal. I just got tired of it. And somebody said, you should coach business owners. I'm like, absolutely not. And I said, it's a lot of work building a business. They go, you don't do any of the work, you just tell them what to do. And that's what I've been doing professionally since 2014. After selling my last company, and I've had a blast, man. I get to deal with all different kinds of businesses, run about 12 different companies simultaneously at all times. So I'm dealing with about 15 to 20 brand new business problems every week. And nobody learns more than the teacher. And so you compound that over years. And I just absolutely love problem solving. So I love different businesses, love different problems. 85 to 90% of the problems are the same. And the rest of it is unique to them, which is the juice that I operate under. And so Alan Reed's been a client of mine for 5 years. We got teamed up about 5 years ago, and he's been in business well over 25 years. And so we got together and we're like, we're both going after small business owners. Both of us have a passion for companies that are under $1 million that would really like to get to $1 million, because very few people actually get to that level. And so why don't we run a call weekly that allows the small business owner, whether they're in startup mode, whether they have cash flow figured out, whether they, have gotten their business to the point where they're getting ready to hire their first employee, or maybe they've hired, 1 or 2 employees and they're like, I hate these employees. And 99% of the time it's the owner that's the problem. And so, we wanted to create a forum where small business owners can come and talk about any problem they have, any challenge that they have, any opportunity that they have, and get some strategies, some input. There's other business owners on this call, so everybody gets an opportunity to contribute to that person's success and really walk away with some actionable stuff. And so the power of masterminds and the power of mentoring. Dan Rogers, just texted me a minute ago, and basically we just got done with a 2-hour one-on-one strategy session together. And he took one of the ideas that I shared with him in there, executed on it within a half hour to an hour, and I'll let him share here in a minute what his results were. But he's like, you know what, that was worth 1,000 times what I just spent with you. And the bigger question is the 2 hours you'll never get back ever in your life, and that's probably worth a lot more than 1,000 times what you spent with me. So answer this question. You can just shake your head or go like this. Is it worth 1,000 times for the 2 hours you will never get back ever in your life? There you go. And so what we wanted to do is create a mastermind call that you can invest an hour in, you can look forward to every week, and bring your biggest business problem, biggest business challenge, and get true value out of that. And so that's what we're here for. So if nobody brings up a problem, and if nobody brings up a challenge or an opportunity, then Ellen and I always get together and go, okay, what are we going to talk about? Because we got real world stuff that we dealt with in our own businesses over this last 2 or 3 weeks with the clients that we have. And the nice thing about business problems is they happen all across the board. And so, Alan, you got anything that you want to say, contribute, tell us about yourself, all those awards and badges you got on the back wall there? Anything on your mind?
Well, I mean, obviously, again, we'll let the guests have the floor. I do have some things that have hit sort of sideways. I always ask the staff of both companies that I'm affiliated with every week before we do the show to give me some experiences that they would like to possibly share out there, some things that they've been dealing with being on the front lines this past week. And that inevitably sort of somebody will throw something out there, and that creates the theme. So I do have a theme for the business challenges that we've gone through this past week, and I can certainly address them. But let's let the guests have their shot, and we can certainly come back to me at any time, and I may have some ways to relay what I brought to the table with what they're dealing with too.
Awesome. All right, so first up, Corey.
Yeah,
Corey,
so
how you doing?
I do have a question, and
sure.
This is, don't quite know how to frame this, but I'll just ask the question. I've been trying to figure out who my first hire would be. Now I work with a large insurance company. We have marketing, we have all of that stuff. But if I was on my own, and what I'm noticing is a lot of small businesses run into this, especially if you are in my world is specifically insurance. So I'm an individual agent. I'm working by myself. I build my book to $1 million. Now this is $1 million of premium, so I'm making, let's say, $50,000 to $70,000, and I'm kind of at my limit. I am now at a point where I am doing all of the renewals. I'm doing the housekeeping. And I'm trying to bring in new business. I mean, you can't physically do much more than that. But to hire somebody on, so let's say I want to bring on a salesperson and I want to offer them a base plus commission. Well, I'm going to have to now make an additional $20,000, or they're going to have to do that before I can pay that base. Or let's say I want to bring on a marketer. Marketers are $60,000 to $80,000 a year. So I'm going to pretty much instantly going to have to go out and find that additional money, or know that I'm going to be able to free up my time enough to be able to pay for that person. So that could be finance and bookkeeping, that could be marketing, or that could be additional salespeople. So the question is, in your experiences with small business, is there sort of a right angle for that, or is there a better path or a better decision than just making a decision and trying to live with it and grinding it out so you can sort of get from point A to point B.
Okay. So let me restate your question and your situation so where I can make sure that we're all clear. And so you've got your business where you're over $1 million a year in premium, and which is netting you anywhere from 50 to 70K in commission. And you're maxed out. I mean, you're the one doing everything. You're the one running the show, doing the renewals, doing the follow-ups, doing all the networking, everything to bring in new business, et cetera, right? And you're just at that point where you're like, I need help, right? And so the consideration now is, okay, do I hire an employee? And if so, what should I hire first? How should I make that decision, et cetera? Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. And so, Alan, why don't let's see what you got to say about this, man.
So two things. My first go-to, as it always is, from a consultative basis, and I don't know your business. I'm not going to proclaim that I know the insurance business, but I do know the technology business, and I know how to leverage it to increase efficiency and automation. So I would want to do exactly what I did with an independent agent in Nashville last year. And that is to offer to come in and take a look at your current systems and how you're going about doing every task you have to see if introducing a different tool or a different technology or even a different methodology of going about your task list would free you up to make more money, to be able to do more of the things that do bring in revenue. So that's number one. I could go on with that, but in a nutshell, that's my number one instinct. Number two is cash flow solves problems. Revenue solves problems. And my gut instinct, and again, this is why I'm on, because John may have a wildly different idea. That happens sometimes, and sometimes we agree. But it would be take the permanency out of your decision-making process. You said something a minute ago like, well, do I just make this decision and live with it? It almost sounds like you're considering marrying somebody that you're on the fence about. You don't have to do that. Maybe you create a sales position that is a permanent 3-month trial, and you set metrics for the person with a reasonable base, something that you can afford. But if they hit these quotas, then you basically offer them a year of extension with conditions, so that you're ensuring that they're able to meet these metrics and they can grow in a ratio that suits exactly what you're trying to do. Those are my two first impulses.
That's a good idea. So let me actually bring some clarity to your time. And while I'm getting ready to share my screen, I'll share this real quick. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So first things goes back to a mentor of mine, Mike Sastry, told me in 2001. And he says, you know what? Never, ever hire an employee or spend any money in your business. I'm like, what? And he goes, every single thing that you spend in your business needs to be treated as an investment, meaning what is going to be the return on my investment? That's kind of where you start. So if we take 70,000, let's just say, well, let's do this little fun exercise real quick in real time. What is it that you would like you to make this year, commission-wise?
Personally, round number, let's say 100,000.
Okay. So if I plug in 100,000, this calculator take all my clients through, and there's 220 work days in a year, 8 hours a day in average, and you can adjust these numbers based off of how you want that to be represented. And so that basically takes that, divides it by that, and this is what each hour is worth, $56.82. Well, depending on if you actually tracked your time throughout the week and you went back and looked and go, okay, what are the income revenue producing activities I do in my business? Well, what are those? Meeting with the prospect, meeting with the client, processing a renewal, anything that is tied to creating revenue. On average, the average small business owner is going to spend about 33% of their time actually creating revenue. But let's just say 55. Let's just say you're only spending 50% of your time actually doing revenue and the rest is administrative work. That means every hour is worth $113.64. Okay? Let's just say you're buried in sales activities, right? And you're spending 80% of your time. Well, now each hour of your time is worth $71.02. And so the question is, do I bring somebody on, and at what capacity? Well, we already know that every hour of my time is worth $71.02 an hour. I want to make $100,000. So if I bring on an employee and they cost me $15 an hour, and the average burden rate for an employee, and I'm not going to get into the details about that right now. I can do a blog article on that later. But it's going to be about 30% because you got computer costs, you got taxes, you got workers' comp, you got all this other stuff. If it's an employee, okay, and let's just say that's $21 an hour net. You know, the total cost $21 an hour. So I'm going to make $50 an hour off of that employee if I can repurpose that time on sales and revenue producing activities. So that's one area to start with. So it kind of opens your eyes. Now it's like, wait, my time is a whole lot more valuable than doing paperwork, than processing a renewal, than, you know, processing commission reports and things like this. And I've done a lot of consulting in the insurance space, especially in property and casualty. And every one of my clients, especially the ones that take on that are, you know, startup mode, usually around 100, you know, 70, 80, 90, $100,000, they start getting maxed as a business owner. And I tell them, hey, it's very simple. We ain't even going to think about an employee. We're not going to think about an individual at all. Okay. We're going to think about a skill set. So I give them 4 lists that they have to create. And I'm giving you some exercises here. This will help you make your decision. Number 1, make a list of every single thing. You can do this in a spreadsheet. And if you want a template for this, I'll just give the templates to you for free. In fact, anybody listening to this live call, just send me a text. I'll give you the number here in a minute and label it 3/25/2021 10X Mastermind call, because I'll create a folder and drop all this content stuff in there. And so list number 1 is you're going to make a list of every single thing that you do in your business. I make calls. I process paperwork. I process renewals. I do this. I check email. You know, I check my voicemail. I return calls. Everything that you do in your business, it goes in list number 1. This is straight out of Michael Gerber. Okay, the what the heck was the name of the book?
E-Myth.
The E-Myth, right? So we're gonna make a list of every single thing that you do, and then in column number 2, we're gonna put how much time per week do I spend doing that task. Okay, and you can ballpark it, or if you're like, I have a civil engineering company, 2 owners. They started their business 2 years ago. We've been working together. They've been in business 6 months. Now they have 5 employees. Okay. And their revenue is almost $1 million, you know, in less than 2 years, you know? And so we did that with employees. We doubled and tripled the revenue with that. And this is the exercise we did. Here's all the stuff that you and Frank do. Okay. And here's how much time a week you spend doing that. That's number 2. Number 3, looking at list number 1, what are the things on list number 1 that you love to do, that you should be doing, that based on this calculator is going to give you, let's just say you only want to actually spend 50% of your time based off $100,000, that's $113.64 work per hour that's worth your time. What are the things that you love to do that you're great at, you would love to do more of, that goes in list number, that column number 3. Column number 4 is all the stuff left over. I don't like to do this in my business. I don't want to do this in my business. I'm not great at it. I don't ever want to be great at it. And that goes in list number 4. Okay. And then the next couple of lists is, okay, looking at list number, the stuff you like to do, you want to do more of, the stuff that you don't like to do, that you absolutely don't want to do any more of. I want you to put a check box in. The next columns are delegate, outsource, automate. Delegate, outsource, automate. You're just going to put an X. Okay. So at the end of the day, you're going to be able to look at your list and go, what are the things that I love to do? What are the things I don't want to do? Because you have the time associated with it, you can add all this up and go, you know what, if I brought on a person to take away all the stuff that I don't want to do, it's going to free me up 15 hours a week, 20 hours a week. And I can repurpose that time on revenue producing activities that will give me a 10x return on my time, right? And so in most cases at your level, you're not going to have to hire an employee. You're probably not ready for it. Okay. But there is enough virtual assistants out there across this country, in the Philippines and Colombia. I've got 2 VAs in Colombia, and they do all my marketing crap because I don't want to do any of it. Okay. I've done it, but I don't want to do any of it. And it's worth the $100 a week I pay them to do all the crap. Right. So here's the point. I never hire an employee unless I have a very clear understanding of whatever I pay them in loaded salary, I'm going to get to a minimum. And this is, and David probably chime in on this, is unless I'm going to get a minimum of 2.5 times their salary in return in profit. Okay. That is if you want to stay in business, that is the formula you got to use forever. Unless I'm going to get 2.5 times their cost back in terms of profit, not gross sales. Okay, not gross, none of that. Here's my revenue minus cost of goods sold. Here's my gross profit. I want 2.5 times what I'm paying them in as far as a return. Otherwise, I'm hiring a subcontractor, and I'm going to outsource just the things I need to outsource at this time. That's going to allow you to take that extra time, reinvest it into growing more revenue, and now you should be able to get, let's just say you're doing 150,000. Okay. So now each hour goes up to $170.45. Okay. So when I look at hiring an employee, I don't care if I have 25 employees. Okay. I always go to this 4-list exercise. I do that and I go, if I bring this person on, how many hours are they going to be able to work? And truth be told, the average employee in this country is effective about 70% of the time, if you're lucky. Very well-ran companies, where the management is great, the team building is great, you've identified the right person, you put the right person in the role, you've trained them, you've given them all the tools. I've got clients getting 93% return, meaning out of 40 hours a week, they're getting 93% of that time is billable, usable, profitable time. Okay. It only comes from a well-ran company. And so the answer to your question, my answer to your question would be start with your 4-list exercise first. See how many hours you can carve off of your plate to a skill set, not a person. Okay. And then ask yourself, okay, do I need multiple people to fulfill this? Like my marketing person, I only have her 10 hours a week. That's all I need her for. My bookkeeper is like 4 hours a month. I don't want to do that crap. Okay. I have a personal assistant that gives me about 12 hours a week. None of them are my employees. Okay. And so I'm able to take that, that model and grow it. Okay. So that's my answer to it. Does anybody else have any feedback for Corey? Any other recommendation, any other ideas around this challenge? Nope. Okay. Does that answer your question, Corey?
Yeah, that was a great answer. Thank you. I will absolutely take that to heart and do that homework this evening. I'm excited.
Okay. I got the template. I had an engineering client of mine because I used to do this on, the old-fashioned handwriting on a notepad, and then I had an engineer, because they're engineers. He created a really nice spreadsheet template that makes it easy. just fill in the blanks. So I'll drop that. I'll drop this, what's your time worth calculator. I have an actual burden rate calculator that I use when I'm making decisions on hiring employees. You just have to adjust it for your state and workers' comp. It's self-explanatory. I'll drop it into a Dropbox folder, and I'll add you to it along with the recording of today's call. So you have the raw recording. And then send me a text message to, and everybody listening to the live call, if you want this material, everybody listening to the recorded call, I'll get text messages months from now on this. Make sure that you send your first name, last name, your email address, and text it to 916-741-0596. So 916-741-0596. 916-741-0596. And I'll add you to the Dropbox folder because it's a big file. And take that information and go for it. If you ever want to reach out to me and have you look at it, just go to my website, johnpyron.com, click on book appointment, schedule 10 to 15 minutes with me. I'll be more than happy to chat with you for free. Let me turn off this alarm here because all right. So next up, who else is on deck? Who else has a business problem, challenge, opportunity they would like some coaching and consulting on? Dan, first to the show.
I am first to the show. I'm going to share some information that is not a problem or challenging thing for me, but it is an opportunity for all of you guys who are talking with business owners as part of your normal business. The PPP got extended until May 31st. So if you have people who are sole proprietors, sole props, Schedule Cs, who have not filed a PPP loan request, they can still do that up until May 31st. And with a Schedule C or full or sole prop, you can actually get up to about $20,000 in a PPP loan because they're taking your gross income, not your net, off of your taxes. I happen to be doing that for people. If you want to run that by me, I'm happy to run it by you to see where you can apply. If not with my bank, then your own bank. But that's really, really cool news for business owners. They don't have to worry about the time. So anybody wants to know about that, you can chat me up or you can contact John and he can then connect you up with me as well. So that was my little opportunity for business owners out there.
Got it. So now, Dan came to me with a unique challenge on how to approach his client, right? And because when you're talking about approach, there's a lot of different ways to grow your business, a lot of different ways to grow your sales. And for me, I love warm introductions. I love eliminating friction, things like that. And so, Dan, share the story that you shared with me real quick.
So Corey Lake is a referral from my good friend Aaron, who lives in Minnesota. Corey lives in Minnesota. I was actually on the phone with Corey prior to our call, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to jump on." I told Corey the story, so he's like, "Oh my God, that's great." He's a big Grant Cardone follower as well, so just jump on this thing. So Corey is here because of my referral ask and connection. So the story goes like this. For some reason, I'm not hearing myself in that ear. I'm leaving John's office, and I look at my calendar because in John's office, I turned my phone off, and so I had no notifications. I just went dark. I was like, okay, I'm just going to soak up John for every minute of time. I had a feeling that we were overtime. I was like, if I can get overtime on John and he doesn't notice and I don't notice, it'll be awesome for me. And it was awesome. And I'm leaving. And then I look at my calendar, I'm like, oh, dang it, I'm an hour late for my set time to talk with John's referral, Alan. And I didn't have Alan's phone number readily available on my phone. I was like, dang it, I couldn't find him on LinkedIn with his cell phone. So I called his office, I left a message, and I closed out my LinkedIn screen. And on my LinkedIn screen, it says, this woman living in Nashville, Tennessee, which is where I'm moving. So David, I think that you're in Nashville also. I see this business consultant, and John just said, talk to business consultants and say that you'd like to add them to your power network because you have people who have these kind of challenges and you want to have, and that's what I led with. And this one was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I never have time during the day. I just happened to take your call. so do you guys know where you're living? I was like, no. Well, my best friend runs an Airbnb type of company, and she can set you up with furnished housing. I was like, oh my gosh, what do you do, Dan? I was like, well, I do business finance, specifically commercial real estate. Oh my gosh, my husband's in the real estate business and runs a commercial real estate firm. And I said, awesome. So she's like, well, is it just you or your family? It's like, well, my wife is coming, and she's a woman business owner, and she runs a sales and marketing agency. She's like, oh my gosh, my other best friend is the president or the leader of the Murfreesboro Chamber of Commerce. When you come out, we all have to get together and chat and talk about how we can do business together. I was like, this is amazing. And then I was like in the parking lot at my office. It sounds silly, but I was emotional. I was like, wow, like this is a woman who wasn't expecting my call, total stranger. And I just said, hey, a total stranger, I'm calling you because, and I'm just looking for some people I can connect with. Is this a bad time? And she said, no, you got lucky. This is the okay time. I went through the thing. It wasn't until the very end that she asked me what I did, and that's where she gave me the introduction to her husband. So here's a woman who knows everybody, who is opening up her network to a total stranger for the simple reason I went to somebody who I thought was a likely fit, and like Grant Cardone, the time is now. I just called her, had no idea what I was going to say other than, hey, we're strangers, this is a bad time. She said, no, yeah, what's going on? What's up? What can I help you with? And she just let me into everything. Corey, 2 hours ago, he was a total stranger. And we had a mutual connection, and now he understands my business. I think that I gave him some approaches that will help his business. And he and I are going to talk down the road about who is it in his network that will benefit me as well. So anyhow, John's coaching. I just get in my car. It's like 6 minutes later because I had to leave the message for Ellen. And then I'm into a 20-minute conversation with a woman who is the most ideal likely referral prospect in the universe for me. So anyhow, and she runs like an outsourced HR company doing all kinds of payroll and things like that. So I was like, oh my gosh, she's working with business numbers all the time. So anyhow, thank you, John. That's the story.
Yeah. Now, so I can be clear. The reason I had Dan share that story is not so much, okay, John gave Dan an idea, Dan implemented that idea, and greatness happened. Okay. One of the strategies I gave him is a strategy I learned from somebody. They learned it from somebody. They learned it from somebody. They learned it from somebody. I mean, I don't know that there's been original thought created in over 10,000 years. It's just been regurgitated over and over and over and over again with that unique individual's special understanding of what they heard and the way they explain it. Okay. And basically what I told Dan is, I'm like, if you're dealing with business owners, right? If your business is B2B, okay, you're dealing with other business owners, okay, is understand a couple of things that exist in every single business. Number one, if you're in business, you have problems, okay, and the only time you should really be concerned in your business is when you don't have problems and when your clients don't have problems, because we as businesses and business owners are paid in direct proportion to the business problems we solve. Okay. So that's number one, knowing that that's just, it exists in every business. If I want to get the attention of a business owner, potentially for my product or service, I can approach them and go, hey man, let me tell you about my company. Let me tell you about what we can do. And let me tell you how great we are and blah, 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 blah. Okay. And if you don't get to the point, most business owners, probably 60, I think the latest is 71% of small business owners are D type A personality styles. So if you don't land that plane in 10 to 15 seconds, I'm hanging up on you. Okay. And so when you call me as a business owner, and when you call most business owners, I am all about WIIFM. It's right, literally tattooed on my forehead. What's in it for me? Period. Okay. I have a problem. Because I'm a business owner, I have a problem. And my job is to go in there and go, listen, man, hey, I like your business. I really want to chat with you, get a chance to know you and your business better, see if there's anybody in my network that can benefit from your products or services. That is a script. Okay. So when somebody gives me a referral, somebody gives me a call, I call them up and I go, hey, Corey, you and I don't know one another. Okay. But I noticed that you're connected to Alan Reeves here or Dan Rogers here. And I thought I'd reach out to you. It looks like you have a business. I'd love to get a chance to know you and your business better, see if there's anybody in my network that can benefit from your products and services and vice versa. Do you have 10 minutes this week or next week for a quick chat? Person's going to say yes most of the time. 86% of the time is the stats on that script. They say yes. Now I get them on a 10-minute call. I want to get a chance to know them. How can I help them? So this time last year, we had as a country, just got locked down. Okay. We were told, hey, we can't go outside. The world's coming to an end. The moment you step out, you're going to breathe something and you're going to die. I mean, that's what everybody was told. Everybody got scared. We were locked down. Okay. And so one of the things that I knew going into that is we're going to go into a recession. We're going to go into a contraction. We're going to go into all my competitors are going to run to the hills. Okay. And they're going to leave all this opportunity out. And then there's going to be brand new opportunity out there. So I'm going to go out and find as many business owners as I have and help them solve their problems. So finding out who they are, do I like them? Do I like how they sound? Can I see myself connecting with them? How can I help them? And I'm after what is the biggest problem keeping them up at night, whether I can solve it or not. Okay. And once I find out what that problem is, that's an opportunity. Problems are opportunities. The bigger the problem, the bigger opportunity is. I'm going to either solve it myself or I'm going to purposely go find somebody to solve that problem, because the next business owner I ask is going to have the same problem, and I'm going to have a network partner set up. And when I solve that business owner's problem, guess what they're going to be open to? They're going to be open to hearing about my stuff. Okay? They're going to be open to listening to my spiel. Okay? And so it's an easier way to develop a long-term business partnership, a long-term reoccurring revenue opportunity, and referrals. And it works 99% of the time. When I go to serve that person, it may come back from them, but the law of sowing and reaping is alive and well, man. The more I serve and help business owners, if I'm B2B, the more opportunity I'm going to get to help them with their own problem. And the thing about COVID and the thing about all this stuff that happened over this last year, affiliate commissions are the new currency. If I can refer you into my client because they are a business and they buy all your services, and I refer you in, two types of currency exist. Either social currency, meaning you got a client and you made money and now you're going to want to help me when I want a client, right? Or I'm going to get paid for that referral. Okay. Every single one of my clients last year, I told them this strategy. I said, we're going into a recession. People are going to they're going to freak out. They're going to not be able to operate. The sky is falling. They're going to go out of business. And you know what? You need to pick up your cell phone and you need to call every single person in your cell phone, and you're going to ask them point blank, how can I help you? Because everybody's like, I don't know what to do. And the more people you help, the more referrals you're going to get, the more business you get. And as a result, it's like I shared on Facebook today, because you get that Facebook memory that comes up from a year ago, right? And I'm giving this talk sharing this strategy to look back on it a year from now. And I'm going, every single one of my clients passed 2019 numbers in July of last year. And out of 12 clients, over 7 clients had their best year ever, including me, because of this strategy right here. And it's still alive and well today. And that's all Dan has done here is just like, let's simplify everything. We know we're going after a business owner. Let's go find a business owner. They either have an employee problem, they have a sales problem, a marketing problem. They're scared to death because they're in over their head and they don't know what to do. Okay, usually about the $500 to $1 million mark. That's most small business owners, which is why they never hit that $1 million mark. Okay, and so I just need to find out what keeps them up at night and find somebody to solve their problem. And guess what? They'll give me all the time in the world. So with that said, Eric Hutton, So what's going on, man? You got some video? Can we see you?
Well, I'm not wearing my best clothes. I mean, I'm wearing clothes.
What are you in your swimsuit or what? Oh,
no,
wait,
I'm not in my swimsuit. I'm just a little self-conscious. I'm wearing a t-shirt.
Oh, okay.
Let me.
So,
okay,
there you go.
I think you can see
You're
me
good
now.
to go, man. All right. So, welcome to the call. Does anybody else out there? Eric, you can go ahead and mute yourself. I just wanted to say hi. If you're on video, this is streaming live on YouTube right now. So, how it works from Zoom, the only thing that actually streams live on YouTube is when you have your video on. Anybody that doesn't have their video on, you get unnoticed. So, and I want everybody to be able to get attention here. So does anybody else, first person to raise their hand, whatever, anybody else got a business problem, challenge, opportunity you'd like some mastermind and coaching on today? Corey, go ahead.
I'd like to quickly ask you a question about when you are making those business contacts and you are bringing business to those additional people. Do you ever get involved in a contractual agreement with those people? Say some sort of spiff or something like that, but actually draw up a physical contract saying, okay, if I bring business to you, you're going to give me a 5% commission, or is everything that you're doing just to try to garner trust and possibly get their business at some point?
That is an excellent question. And what's funny is I have one of those partners on the call right now. So Alan has an incredible company called Mouse Calls out of Nashville, Tennessee, and two aspects of the business I'll let Alan talk about as well as over 400 customers in the solo entrepreneurial space, under 10 employees, and he provides all the computer and help desk support for those small businesses. Then we have a whole nother side of the company that provides technical services to larger companies. And so he's a client of mine. We're sitting there talking. We're becoming good friends. And I'm going, wait, I have business owners out the wazoo, dude. Why don't I refer people to you? And because it's going to be a recurring revenue for you, if I do that, how much you going to pay me, man? And so we had a conversation and we actually sat down and wrote a formal agreement, And so I know exactly, hey, if I go in and close a deal for Alan, I'll go in and close deals for my clients because I love sales and I love closing and negotiating. If I refer somebody to him and he runs the deal, I know I'm going to get a check every single month. Alan Venmos me money. Okay. It's my cigar money, or my party money or whatever it is I want to use it for. But I can grow that as big as I want. I have another client, and I'm going to land the plane here because I have another client I don't have a formal agreement with. We just have an understanding, and he says, hey, if you refer me, in his case, he's a commercial insurance person, right? And I referred a client of mine to him, and he got almost $170,000 a year in premium that got moved over to his company. And I'm minding my own business one day. I go to the mailbox, and there's a check in there for $2,800. I'm like, dude, I totally forgot about it. But you know why he did it? Because I've been referring people over to him over and over and over again, because he knows that, hey, you're going to feed the golden goose. And so those are those two types. But I'll tell you, the holy grail is find 4 power partners. And I told this to Dan today, and I built 3 multi-million-dollar companies with only this one strategy. Find 4 other people that go after the exact same client you're going after. So business insurance, let's break that down, or commercial property and casualty insurance, right? Power partner, real estate person, okay? Active real estate person that closes 35, 40 homes a year, real estate person, okay? Mortgage person, somebody that writes at least 10, 15, maybe probably 7 to 10 deals a month. Okay. That's a power partner. Both of those are power partners. Pest control, power partner. Okay. Landscape person, power partner. Those are 4 power partners that I will challenge you, kind of some homework here, that you go and develop 4 of these strategic relationships, and just simply go to your Facebook or have whoever you know that's got a big Facebook following, go, I'm looking for a great pest control dude, man. Looking for somebody I can refer. You know, got lots of clients, man, you know, and you'll get 25 different pest control people that'll get recommended to you by people. And you call them up and go, hey, Joe, I noticed that you're a pest control guy and you own it. I'm a property and casualty insurance person. I don't have a pest control person I refer to. And I got to thinking, man, I got all these clients and I can easily refer your pest control stuff. Challenge is, I don't even know if I like you. Okay. And I don't know if you like me. Okay. Now you can get away with that if you have that personality, by the way. Hey, how about we connect for 10 minutes on the phone and see if it makes sense for us to actually meet? I'd like to develop a reciprocal referral relationship with you. He's going to say yes. Okay. And then I have a 5-part video series I'm going to drop into the same Dropbox folder called POI. I teach this step by step. Okay. And Barbara's shaking her head because she knows she's a client of mine. She's like, this is powerful, right? And so I go, my goal is 4. Now, why do I want 4? Okay. It's simple. I can meet with 1 a week. And all I'm looking to do is develop a personal relationship with them over time. And the once a week thing means I'm going to meet with them once a month, and I'm going to develop a business relationship with them. And I'm going to basically tell them, hey, how did your business go last month? What was your successes? What were your challenges? What are your goals for next month? How can I help you? You know, and I always walk away from that meeting with at least 5 to 7 referrals. It's a referral system, and I go into each month with about 25 to 30 referrals every single month, knowing exactly who they're coming from. I built 3 $1 million plus businesses with this one strategy because I hated cold calling. Okay. And so, and Jeff Stewart, I've been dealing with him since 1998. We still do this. You know, the 3rd Friday of every month, 3:30 in the afternoon to be exact, we have a beer. Now, do we talk about business? Absolutely not. But I bring my referrals, he brings his referrals, and we're always referring business. So 4 of these strategic partners will build you a massive business. Okay. And it becomes a system. Okay. And you can take that, and there's so many other strategies, but I hope that helps you out. That's how I would do it. And I get paid. Like if I refer somebody to Dan, like before we go, I'm going to ask Dan did an incredible job. Dan, and Alan here, Alan's like, if I refer somebody to Alan, I already know I'm going to get some money. Right. But even if I didn't get money, Alan's going after my client. Same thing with Barbara. Barbara here goes after business owners and helps protect their digital assets, their copyright. I know if I refer somebody to Barbara, I'm either going to get a referral in return or money in return. You know? And so does that answer your question? Does it help you out?
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Okay. Alan, you got anything you want to contribute, man? You just kind of been sitting back and I've been monopolizing.
No,
like
so we had a storm cell blow through, and I had to change my location and camera and everything else. So I apologize for that. I want to just do a 60-second elaboration on what you just said. And I'm not trying to make this the John Tyron is awesome show. That's not what this is about at all. But there is, yeah, I know.
Dude, I got a big ego. You go right ahead. No.
There is something that I do tell people, and it's how this kind of got started with the referral relationship, and it kind of opened my eyes. But talking about the pandemic, my company, Mouse Calls, is one of our largest clients out west. Is a client that John closed for us as the pandemic was cranking up last year on April Fool's Day, which is
that's right.
You know,
okay.
Yeah. And so I was very pleasantly surprised because obviously, the world was very uncertain. And here we go landing this prospect. We were one of 7 companies that was in the bidding, and they're still with us. And they're still, this morning, I found out, John, at the LATIP meeting, Randy sang our praises up and down for some stuff we did this week. But John gets, like he said, he gets that regular residual. And it really kind of opened my eyes to, wait a minute, this is a much better way for me to grow than to hire a salesperson. If I have a partner network that is financially incentivized to send me leads. And the best example, I mean, we're outsourced IT services and cybersecurity, right? Well, I am hopefully no more than 30 days away from having a full affiliate / B2B referral program in place. Now, those are 2 different things. The affiliate program or the I guess really, forgive me, the referral program is kind of like where I might send an email out to our existing smaller client base and say, hey, refer a friend and get this. But the affiliate program would be, yes, we have an affiliation. And for example, a managed print services company has approached me about this. They want a go-to IT company that they like and trust. And I'm creating or want to create a mechanism where there is a standard terms of service, but all they have to do if they have a lead is put it in a portal or there's a process to it. And if we close that lead, then every time they pay a bill, we cut a commission check to our affiliate. So that builds up and up and up. And I mean, I'm not going to divulge any dollar signs here, but if I know that if John were to increase by a factor of 10-fold or 50-fold what he's currently getting out of that one closing out west, then frankly, there's not a whole lot more that he has to do. If he wants to work, he can work, but that's an income in and of itself. And he's not doing much of anything. John, I think you've touched that client once or twice since that closing. Okay, then there you go. And essentially for the rest of it's just downtime. So I've got a lot of people on this call that I've already got on a list that I'm going to be approaching with that, hopefully in the next 2 weeks, because basically I'm giving you a way that doesn't cost you anything, that allows you to build a side income for yourself while building my business. And there's no reason that we can't configure something similar for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about how do you create systems, right?
Yeah.
So, kind of end with this because every single one of you, either on the live call or listening to the recording, once you get your business to where typically, depending on the type of business, property and casualty, once you get that business right around probably around 600, 700 grand a year in commission, the systems that you use to get there are not going to get you to that $1 million mark, and you're going to have to change tactics. Okay. And so what's very important is to understand that John Maxwell wrote a book called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And the number 1 law is the law of the lid. And this is the biggest problem I see in small business owners, myself included, is if you don't invest in yourself to grow personally, and this is your business, and this is you, and your business grows and grows and grows, but you don't keep up from a personal growth standpoint, your business is going to hit that ceiling. It's called the law of the lid. Your business will never outgrow the self-image of the owner. And probably, David, as long as he's been doing consulting, knows exactly what I'm talking about. I've seen it, and it's sad when I see it, is business owners work their tail off and they get their business to where it's super duper successful. And then they start to have to let go of control of different aspects of their business, trusting this person, trusting that person, trusting this person. And they don't psychologically grow to handle that growth. And it's just sad because they start sabotaging that business. So every single business owner, including myself, I constantly remind myself, I have to grow personally. I have to grow personally. I have to do a morning routine. I have to read. I have to grow. I have to grow. I have to grow. Otherwise, I'll get my income getting your income up just the strategy I gave you today on referral systems will blow everybody's business up on this call. I don't care what kind of business you are, reciprocal referral, networking relationships, if they're done right, will blow up any business. But now that you got all this money and all this revenue, if you haven't grown personally, right, and you haven't done that mindset growth, okay, you're going to experience what I've watched. It's just sad when I see it, is business owners sabotaging their business, and then they ultimately call up and they go, I've had one client, I actually had to fire the guy before he said this to me. He goes, man, I just kind of want to take a break from working together. And I'm like, okay, let's see. We've been working together 4 years. I took you from 147,000. You're going to do $1 million this year. You want to take a break? Yeah, because he didn't want to grow personally to hire the manager, to let go of the control of this part of his business. Just checked in with the person, not him, but somebody that I know, and that business is back down to no more than 430,000 a year now. You know, but it's at his comfort level now, you know? And so to prevent that from happening to you, because I've seen it happen too many times, never, ever, 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 never, ever, ever, never stop growing personally. And as long as you do that and investing time in stuff like this, plugging in with people, Alan has spoken very highly of David First on here, incredible mentor, and highly recommend you reach out to him. And you know, not all mentors you're going to click with, but the only reason Michael Jordan ever worked with a mentor and coach, not that the dude taught him how to play basketball. Okay, let me say that again. The only reason Michael Jordan worked with a coach isn't because the dude had to teach him how to play basketball. What he did is he forced Michael to go that one step further every time to grow, right? And so you need to find somebody that stretches you, that holds you accountable, okay? And there's lots of people out there. You really got to just do yourself a huge favor. David probably attested to this, is like, make sure you could fire their butt, okay? Don't, you know, if they want a 6-year contract, a 1-year contract, and you're not able to fire them, run the other way, okay? There are strategies you're either going to get results or not, but you need to invest in yourself. Your number one investment in your business is in yourself. And then you need to invest your time and energy to mentor your employees to be better than you. And you'll have a business that runs without you. Okay. So, with that said, I got a client of mine up in Reading, 30 years in business, $1.8 million a year in revenue, 12 employees. And it's like, she's like, I love my company. I don't want to work in it no more, man. I want to travel for a month or two. You know? Well, you got to have systems in place to do that. So just always remember, start first. Very first thing we started out with, which is what Corey brought up. Make sure that 4-list exercise, you keep that and you do that over and over and over again, so you have systems in place. So when you want to step back, you have a business that will run without you. So check out, look up everybody in here. Take a screenshot of this and connect with every single person on here, on their website, on their social networks, things like that. Get to know one another, okay? We're all business owners here, otherwise we wouldn't be here. Find out who they are, who their perfect client is, and network, and you'll grow your business. So, again, if you need to reach out to me or Alan, just go to mousecallsonline.com or johntyron.com and connect with us. If you want a copy of today's recording, you want all the resources I promised to give away for free, send a text with your name, phone number, reference this call, not name and phone number, name and email address to 916-741-0596. Okay? Hope this has been valuable for everybody. Let me check the chat window here because there's some chats in here. See if there's any questions in here. How do you generate the ability to generate referrals to others? You may have covered it earlier. Eric, I'm going to drop this in that Dropbox. I have an entire, like, the most requested talk I get that I've given, I don't know, 380 times now is referral systems. I'll drop all those resources in there. Okay? Take action on it, man. You blow your business up. So, and if you ever want to reach out to me, just let me know. Okay? All right, guys. Have a wonderful week. Next week, like I said, show up. You guys drive this call. You drive the content. It was a great call. We got to absolutely nothing we had planned to talk about today, which is good because it's all about you. Go out and make it happen. We'll talk to you later. Take care.